one of LA's basketball teams, the Lakers without LeBron. Hawks have won 6 straight. Under 5 to go in the first half. Trae Young will come up big a little bit later. Malik Monk, the dish to Anthony Davis. 6-point lead for the Lakers. Closing seconds of the first half. Monk, give me that. Beautiful little head fake to get a clean look at it. 71 points on better than 71% shooting from the floor. Best percentage by any team this season. Lakers led by 9. The game continued. And that is where Trae Young goes nuts. Step back. Long 2. Hawks up 5. Monk, 8 of 14 from 3. 33 points. First 30-point game of the Lakers. That ties things up. After a free throw, put the Hawks up 1. It's Young. 36-12. And the Hawks win their 7th straight. Lakers 3 under 500. Stephen A?
The Lakers stink!
And that might be a little harsh, but the record's what it is. So
Quick takes, hoops. Let's get it, Stephen A. After the Lakers got rocked by the Nuggets Saturday for their 3rd straight loss, Magic Johnson tweeting this. After being blown out by the Nuggets, 133-96, we as Lakers fans can accept being outplayed, but we deserve more than a lack of effort and no sense of urgency. Owner Jeannie Buss, you deserve better. Russell Westbrook was asked about these comments from the Hall of Famer.
I do not have a reaction. Everybody is entitled in this world to their opinion. Regardless of what that is, you can either take it and run with it, or you can take it and put it in one ear, not the other, or you cannot respond to it. But Magic's entitled to his opinion. And he's not here every day. He's not around us every day. He's not aware of kind of what's going on internally with us and trying to figure things out. But I have no response to that. But like I said, everybody in this world is entitled to their opinion, and that's that.
Stephen A., what do you make of your boy, the Magic Man, calling out the Lakers?
Well, I think he's absolutely right. And I think that Russell Westbrook was very, very wise in his response, because the last person in the world who wants to challenge Earvin Magic Johnson is a point guard, any point guard that's playing for the Los Angeles Lakers.
Fact.
You don't want to challenge Earvin Magic Johnson. You want to be quiet and just defer.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, here's the reality. Lakers going to have to make a change. Now, whether it's a trade or whatever, or the changing of the coach, where I hold Frank Vogel accountable, and I'm not calling for him to be fired, please don't get me wrong, because I'm very fond of Frank Vogel. But where I am holding him accountable is you're the 27th ranked defense, giving up 113 points a game. You have a head coaching job because your defensive prowess as a head coach. The fact that this team is so abysmal defensively and there's such flagrant levels of lacking energy, such lethargy, is an embarrassment. That is intolerable. And let me tell you, and I think I've proven this on many occasions, that I know Magic Johnson. I don't know why people, I mean, I don't have to talk. I've known the man for a quarter century.
Yeah.
Personally, that's my brother.
Yeah.
I'm telling you what I know. Magic didn't just say that for no reason. You notice how he added Jeannie Buss?
Yeah.
You deserve better. Mm-hmm. That's code to Jeannie Buss. You deserve better, and you're not getting better. So you need to make a move so you will get better. That is why Magic Johnson, that is code for Magic Johnson telling Jeannie Buss,
Yep.
Make a change.
We got to leave it there.
Change is coming.
Lakers play the Jazz tonight. Obviously, more playoffs to get to.
They should win that because of back-to-back for Utah, but Utah might still smoke them.
We'll have much more in the NBA now that you're back, of course. Now that is everything. JJ Redick in the building. Happy New Year, sir. Good to see you.
Great to see you all.
Great to have you
Great to
with
see you.
us. I'll get to you in a second. I'm going to start with you here, Stephen A.
Yep.
What message do you think LeBron was sending there?
He was saying that, Magic Johnson, we hear you loud and clear. And by the way, appreciate you on NBA Countdown, man, filling in for me. You did a great job. Thank you so much for that. Let me be very, very clear. I said this yesterday. I'm going to say this again. I haven't spoken to Magic Johnson in a while. Mm-hmm. I've known Magic Johnson for 25 years. I don't know how many times I got to tell people when he says certain things, this is what it means.
Yeah.
And I ain't been wrong yet. This man, When Magic Johnson put out that tweet, that was code to Jeanie Buss. It's time to do something. Enough's enough. We've seen enough. It's halfway through the season. When you start questioning effort, that's a huge, huge problem. Here's one of the things that I point out, JJ, and you know this. You don't have to co-sign this or whatever. I'm doing this, all right? Everybody ain't the same. Discipline matters. When you play in Los Angeles for the Lakers, there's a lot of distractions, okay? And you got to be focused. And everybody ain't that way, especially when they win. And since they have won the championship in the bubble, they hadn't been the same. You got cats taking it for granted. You got cats feeling themselves. We play for the Lakers. We wear the purple and gold. This is what we do, et cetera, et cetera. You take stuff for granted, and then you try to switch things up. And what happened? We can never question the effort of Russell Westbrook, ever. He brings 100% every day. But you see a lot of guys on the team, they ebb and flow with it. And when Magic watched that blowout loss to Denver a couple of nights ago, he said enough's enough, because he's been watching them all year. And he knows that Jeanie Buss hears him loud and clear. And Jeanie Buss is watching, and I'm telling y'all right now, let them stay at 500. Trading deadline coming up February 10th. And I'm telling you right now, something gonna happen. Might be a player, might be a coach. Well, something gonna happen.
First of all, I played in LA for 4 years, and I will co-sign the fact that LA can eat people up.
That's right.
That I witnessed it with teammates. I've seen it happen.
Yes.
I appreciate LeBron taking responsibility and making that statement. The reality is we're 44 games into the season. The Lakers have shown us who they are. They're 24th in offense, 18th in defense. They're a bad team. They're not a very good team. Right. This roster was constructed, with a few exceptions, of course, LeBron being one of them, Anthony Davis being one of them. This roster was constructed with players that are past their prime. And I'm not going to single anybody out, because a bunch of them, look, are former teammates. They're close friends of mine. But these are guys that are past their prime. That's the reality. It came out this morning that Frank Vogel's job is clearly in jeopardy. He almost got fired the other night after the Denver loss. I don't think this is on him. This roster is very poorly constructed. And when you talk about a change, I want to explain something real quick. The Lakers don't have a lot of options to make any changes. Who's taking on Russell Westbrook's contract?
Nobody.
All right, so they have two pieces. They have Kendrick Nunn, who hasn't played all season, and THT. In terms of picks, this is something that I think people need to understand. Because of the Pelicans trade, which then got routed to the Grizzlies, they don't own in 2022. The Grizzlies do.
Okay.
You can't trade consecutive years without owning a pick, so they can't trade in 2023. Pelicans have the option to defer 2024 to 2025, which means the Lakers can't technically trade 2026 first-round pick either. So the first-round pick they can trade is 2027.
Okay.
With THT as an option, Kendrick Nunn, who's been hurt all season, and Russell Westbrook making $45+ million a year. There's just not a lot of options to improve this roster. The last thing they have is a trade exception in the Marc Gasol trade, $2.6 million. That's not going to bring back anybody of any importance.
I want to respond to that. Keyshawn is in the segment.
Keyshawn's here.
Hey, Keyshawn, I'll let you go first, and then I'll come back and respond off of what JJ said. Go ahead, Key.
Well, I'm kind of with JJ here. When you look at the roster, right, put together, I don't know who put it together. Was it Maverick Carter and that crew? Who was it?
LeBron.
Was it Rob?
It was LeBron and Rob
Was it LeBron? Like, who put it together? But when you look at it, they obviously let Caruso get out the building. I don't know how you keep that. Economically, maybe it didn't fit in there, but that's a missing piece. KCP not being a part of it is a missing piece. And much like JJ said, you're dealing with older players. They're past their prime, way past their prime, and they expected to get something out of Kendrick Nunn. He hasn't been available to them. But that doesn't mean that come the second half of the season that they don't finally get it done. You know how these things go. You look at the Atlanta Hawks and what happened in their run that they made. All of a sudden, you decide to part ways with Frank Vogel, and now everybody's put on notice. People are starting to respond differently. You talk about hunger. You talk about wearing the logo, being part of L.A. and just enjoying as if you won the championship 2 years ago. When you look at a guy like Stanley Johnson, who's now on his third 10-day contract,
I like the way he's
balled out for them because he's hungry. He balled out. So you need hungry players outside of the big three.
Let me say this to both of y'all. We're going to end this segment. Let me break a couple of things down. Number one, You had an opportunity to get DeMar DeRozan in the offseason. From that area, wanted to be a Laker. They didn't make that happen. Russell Westbrook wanted to be a Laker, convinced LeBron to sign on. LeBron convinces AD to sign on. They obviously convinced Rob Pelinka to sign on. You missed out on that. You had an opportunity to get Buddy Hield. Sacramento, this brother's a sniper. You know this, JJ. He can shoot the basketball. That would have been helped, even though I've been very pleased, periodically at the very least, how Malik Monk has
been
played.
great. He's been great the last
Malik
10.
Monk has done a good job.
He's been great the last 10.
I like what I'm seeing from him, and I can't underestimate that. Here's where it gets a bit tricky. When you talk about Frank Vogel, because Charles Barkley said it, you're saying the same thing. I like Frank Vogel. I'm not going to sit up here and advocate for the man to be fired. I will say this, though. I'm looking at the numbers here, JJ. They're the 27th ranked defense. They're surrendering nearly 113 points per game.
That's points per game. That's not
Points per
defensive rating. They're 18th. They're 18th.
They're
And
18th.
he built 2 top 10 defenses the 2 years prior.
But here's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
He's a head coach because of defense. Yeah. So when your defense is struggling, even though you might have questions about the roster, what an organization is looking at you as a head coach, whatever it is about you that made you get this position, we expect you to do that. JJ can't go to an NBA team in his entire career and don't shoot.